after the latest reports. We've got the insight you need coming up as we get up with you, starting right now on a Tuesday from our Seaport studios. Greeny and Graz are here, and the regular Tuesday crew is ready to go. Marcus Spears is ready to go. Jeff Saturday is ready to go. Greg McElroy in the middle playing offense as we get this thing going with our game of the night, Monday Night Football last night. Surprisingly entertaining show from MetLife Stadium. Patriots against the winless Jets. Pats a losing record this late in the season for the first time in 18 years. Joe Flacco playing in place of the injured Sam Darnold and playing well. Flacco, Rashad Perriman behind the defense. Oh, it's a 50-yard touchdown. It's the Jets' first passing touchdown since October 11th, which is terrible. They take a 10-7 lead later in the second. Jets up 13-10, first and 10. Flacco, Jamison Crowder. Oh, what a spectacular play. You need to see it again. Look at the catch. Look at the toe tap. Jets a 20-10 lead at the half. That's their highest scoring half of the season. Fourth quarter, Pats down 10. Second and 10. Cam Newton avoiding the sack, finding Jacoby Myers. Oh, what a night Myers had. 12 catches, 169 yards. Later in the drive, third and goal. Newton going to keep it himself, and he's not going to get there. So the Patriots settle for a field goal. It's 27-20 with 6.5 minutes to go. On the ensuing drive, Joe Flacco, let's just say punting. There's really no other word for this pass. This is just an arm punt, and it's picked off by J.C. Jackson. Patriots take over. Flacco threw 3 touchdowns and that pick. Ensuing Patriot drive. First and 10. Newton looking for Demir Bird, and watch Bird make the play. Oh, he's going all the way back across the field, and he's going to dive for the pylon at the end here. He's out of bounds inside the 5, so it's first and goal for the Patriots. Cam would run it on first, he'd run it on second, and then the third time would be the charm. Third down, Newton takes it in and ties the ball game at 27, just under 2 minutes to play. The Jets a very quick 3 and out, so the Patriots get it back. Pick it up with 22 seconds to go on a third down with 1 timeout left. Cam takes it up the middle for 5 yards. They don't use the timeout. So here we go. You got to get up. You got to spike it. And that they do. So they spike the ball with 8 seconds left, and they have 1 timeout remaining. Second and 10. It's Newton. They need yards, and they need a timeout. Check, check. Jacoby Myers, touchdown. 3 seconds left. They use their last timeout. Nick Folk's going to kick it. Adam Gase does not ice him because Trevor Lawrence is really good. And the field goal is up, and it's good. Nick Folk wins it for the Patriots. As time expires, 30-27. The celebration in New England, and just maybe in the Jets front office. Let's talk after a Patriots win.
What's been the difference over the last couple of weeks versus maybe the few weeks that preceded these games?
I'm getting tired of sucking. Simple.
Yeah, it is quite simple, and let's make this good calls brought to you by Subway. You know where he was particularly not stinky last night? Cam, against the blitz. He completed 75% of his passes when faced with pressure and had more passing yards last night than in his previous 3 games combined. So let's bring the crew into the conversation here. And Jeff Saturday, I will start with you. As you watched Cam Newton playing quarterback last night for the Patriots, what were you thinking?
I saw a team that's trying to hide the quarterback in the play. I mean, they didn't try to challenge the Jets deep for the majority of the game. They played very conservative throughout the entire game. And it just showed you, right, that Cam has cost them the last couple weeks in the way he's played. They weren't going to let it happen again. It was like in the meetings throughout the whole week between Belichick and McDaniels is, hey, we're going to stop this. We're going to stop the bleeding from turnovers, from bad plays. We're going to play this thing and make it as ugly a game as possible and see if we can find a way to win in the fourth quarter. And that's ultimately what they did. But I'll tell you the other part that's probably the most disappointing for me is if you watch the game of football right now, think about all the young quarterbacks that we have out there, right? The Tua's of the world, the Kyler Murray's of the world, like all the energy, even Mahomes to a degree, just the energy and excitement that quarterbacks are kind of bringing to their team. I expected that out of Cam Newton, and you just don't see it. I mean, it's like it's just hard work, right? It's laborious. It's like there's just no joy in it. And I know he had it early on in the season, but you just see it on the sideline, man, like such a relief that they're beating a winless Jets team. I mean, that's the part that's probably the most disappointing, because when they brought Cam in, I thought that part of his game, right? Whether you love him or hate him on the field, it's irrelevant. I'm talking about just the attitude and kind of the energy that he brings to the locker room. I just don't see it, and that's been disappointing. Maybe because it's the game plan, but for whatever reason, that was probably the most disappointing part. Again, against an 0-9 Jets team, I would have thought I'd have seen a little bit more.
Well, so there's a lot there to consider. Greg, let's start with the game plan. What did you see from New England's offense last night?
Well, it was an indicator, like what Jeff said, of how the Pats feel about Cam Newton. That was an elementary game plan. It was probably the most elementary game plan I've seen from a veteran quarterback in a really long time. There were reads in there that would be easy for a high school player. A lot of curls, a lot of hitches, a lot of throws behind the line of scrimmage. But is that Cam's fault?
Right.
No. Like, we have to give credit where credit is due. And for whatever reason, we have been extremely critical of Cam Newton throughout the course of this season. And understandably so. The last 3 games have been putrid. They've been bad. But I would also say that he played pretty well last night. And especially like we just talked about in the Subway Good Calls. I mean, he did a great job against pressure. That's exactly who Greg Williams is. Like, he did miss a couple throws. Yeah, from those 2 throws that he missed down the field. If he makes those throws, it takes a
potentially winning that game. So how far the mighty falls is what I was thinking about the New England Patriots last night. And then to Greg's point, like, you look on the field, it's just not there. Bill Belichick talked about it, I think, a couple weeks ago. Like, we sold out to get 3 Super Bowls or make the appearances. You damn sure did, and I noticed it more last night than any game all season. New England is bad, and people need to accept that. Gee, I know you're happy because y'all kept that loss and you still in the sweepstakes for Trevor Lawrence, but dang, New England, y'all look just as bad as the New York Jets, man.
Listen, there were some very nervous moments last night. I mean, the Jets thankfully were able to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, but there was some cause for real concern. We will get to the Jets side of this a little bit later in the first pick and everything else, but Dan Graziano, let's talk for a minute about the Patriots in this regard. I'm old enough to remember when Jarrett Stidham was the future of that franchise. What has happened here?
Well, Stidham didn't come as quickly as they hoped in the offseason. They did sign Cam Newton. They really believe Cam Newton is their best chance to win games this year, which is still what they are trying to do. But what this is telling you is the Patriots are going to be in the quarterback market this offseason, whether it's Cam Newton coming back as a free agent, whether it's somebody in